What's up, my loves? It's Sugar Erica V, and you are tuned into Freedom Podcast. Listen, today is July 17th, 2023. And do you want to know what the word is? Do you want to know what the word is? The word for tonight is what this generation needs. Let me say it again. The word for tonight is what this generation needs. Listen. Tonight's episode is about to get real, we're about to get raw, and we're about to get uncut. So listen, let's get to it. When I look at the generation today, listen, I'm not gonna lie, I am disappointed. But when we look at the generation today, I have several thoughts. So I'm just gonna go down the list. The reason why I feel like this generation is the way that they are is because one, it starts at home. Let's start there. It starts at home. When I look at young children, young adults, and how they're raised, I pay attention. Parents, you have to be careful of how you raise your children. And I know you guys may say, oh, you got to have children to understand people raise their children. Listen, I understand that you should have children, but let me tell you something. Some things are common sense. So let me break it down to you what I mean. When I look at certain parents and I look at when their children are growing up, I look at how they pour into their child, what they're saying, what they're feeding them. When I say feeding them, what are you pouring into them? Are you pouring positive things into them? Or are you pouring negative things into them? Are you encouraging them when they do something wrong? So for example, some parents tend to smoke with their child. When they become a certain age, oh, I'm going to smoke with you. Let me just say this. You are setting that child up for failure. Let me say it again. You are setting that child up for failure. Let's go back to when a child, is born. When a child is born, it is your job to pour into them, love on them, pour into them. You are smart. You are intelligent. You can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. It is your job to pour into them. So if you are a parent and you're not pouring into your child, or you're pouring negativity into them, you're talking bad about them, you're just pouring negativity into them, you are a part of the problem. I see so many parents that when they see their child, they say, ooh, I can see you gonna be trouble. You gonna be bad. Ooh, I can see you now. He gonna be doing this. Ooh, he just like his daddy. Ooh, he just like his uncle. Ooh, he just like his cousin. Why would you speak that into your child and the uncle is a drug addict, or the cousin robs people, or the dad goes to prison, or the father is into doing different things he's not supposed to do? Why would you say you're just like your dad, you're just like your uncle? You are a part of the problem. And I know a lot of us don't want to hear it because we feel like, I don't want to talk about it, or, I done did all I can. I'm just letting you guys know it starts at home. It starts when they're children, what you're pouring into them, what you're allowing them to do. A lot of people in this generation, a lot of parents I notice now are giving their children the ultimatum of, do you want to go to church? Do you want to go to church? And they tell them yes or no. They tell them if they're going to church. You are a part of the problem. Let me just say this. In my house, church is non-negotiable. You can't negotiate with me when it comes to church. You will go to church. You will go to church. You will be involved in church, and you will be active in church. The reason why I say this is, it is so important that you put your children in church. It is so important because People don't understand that the enemy tries to attack your child at a young age. The enemy tries to attack your child at a young age. Why do you think so much is being shown in schools? Why do you think they're teaching your children so much when they go to school? So it is important that you pray for your child, not only when they're growing up, but as a baby, you pray over your child. Even when they're in your stomach, they're in your womb, you pray over your child. But when a child, is maybe 7 or 8, they get to, oh, do you want to go to church? I'm going to tell you something. I have this motto. And my niece and nephews will tell you. If you spend a night with me on a Saturday, you going to church on Sunday. So if you don't want to go to church, then guess what? You ain't going to want to spend a night with me. Because guess what? You're going to church. You don't get to tell me what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Because at the end of the day, a child should never be telling you, I don't want to go to church. And you wonder why your child, but guess what? They tell you whether or not they want to go to church, but they sit at home, they're on the internet, they're strolling, they're looking at different things. The enemy is all up and down in that tablet. The enemy is all up and down in that phone. And so you say, oh, you ain't got to go to church, so you go to church. Or let me just say this. Some of these parents aren't even going to church, so why do you think your children is going to go to church? A lot of you don't even take church serious. A lot of you aren't even consistent with coming to church. A lot of you don't even make God a priority in your life. So when I look at parents not making making God a priority in their life, but you make going to the club a priority. You make going on trips a priority. You make going out with your man a priority. You make going out, turning up with your friends a priority. But you don't make church a priority? So your children can go to all these different places and you don't make them get up for church? And you wonder why your children have low scores in school? You wonder why they're saying your child has this and anxiety and this and that and the other, because you're not praying over your child. A lot of things your children won't be going through if you would just get a relationship with God, if you would just turn your life around, if you would just lead by example. A lot of parents tell their children to do things when your children are looking at you like, you're not even leading by example. Parents tell their daughters, don't date this, don't do that. And guess what? But you are dating a deadbeat. But you are dating someone that doesn't treat you well. But you are dating someone that abuses you. But you are dating someone that doesn't respect you. But you date someone that curses you out. But you date someone that put their hands on you. But you date someone that cheats on you. Yet you try to tell your daughter this and that. When your parents realize this, and I've said this several times to several people, a girl cannot teach a young lady how to become a woman. Just like a boy cannot teach a young man how to become men. So with that being said, you have to lead by example. You have to set a standard. And a lot of parents aren't setting a standard. A lot of parents allow their children to smoke weed. And this is the term I've heard even growing up. If they don't do it with them, if they don't do it with you, they're going to do it with somebody else. And you wonder why so many young children are dying from fentanyl. You wonder why so many young adults are dying off of fentanyl. You wonder why so many young adults are on drugs, on pills, and all these different things. Because somewhere down the line, someone has made it okay for them to do certain things. Somewhere down the line, someone let them have their way and say you can do whatever you want to do. Somewhere down the line, someone failed them. So parents, when you smoke with your children, don't think that it's making your relationship with them better. Don't think that that's a thing that bonds you guys together. It is important that you understand, parents, that your kids are your children, not your friend. A lot of parents want to say, oh, I want to be my child's friend and their mom. Okay, cool. I'm going to tell you something. I never want my child to look at me like a friend. I'm not your friend. I'm your mother. I'm not your friend. I'm your mom. So with that being said, I'm not going to talk to you like a friend would. I'm not going to make you comfortable with cursing around me. I'm not going to make you comfortable with disrespecting me. I'm not going to make you comfortable with not acting like a lady or not carrying yourself like a lady or doing anything you want to do. I'm not going to make you comfortable. Parents, when you do this, a lot of y'all wonder why your children curse in front of you. Your children smoke in front of you. Because you're not leading by example. So one of the things that I would say our youth need, one, they need an example. Parents aren't examples anymore. A lot of parents aren't examples. You tell your child, don't go to the club. You know why parents ain't telling their child don't go to the club? Because they ain't going to the club. A lot of parents are turning up with their children. A lot of parents are going to the club. A lot of moms are wearing things that their daughters would wear. A lot of and I'm not just speaking on the moms, because guess what? A lot of fathers aren't stepping up. A lot of fathers aren't stepping up. So these young black boys, these young black men, these young men are getting with the wrong crowd, going to the first man that they see to give them comfort, to give them that fatherly love, and that person is sending them out to do crimes. That person is sending them out to do drugs. That person is giving them that love. And a lot of times children don't know different love, because guess what? They ain't never felt it. So they don't realize that the love they're getting from this person, this human being, is not the right love. The thing that you think is good is not good. It's actually sour. So you wonder why so many young boys are getting into trouble. You wonder why so many young boys are getting killed and murdered. Because somewhere down the line, some of them didn't get love. Somewhere down the line, some of the fathers weren't there. Somewhere down the line, some of the mothers were in the street. Somewhere down the line, the parents didn't lead by example. Somewhere down the line, the parents didn't lay the foundation. When you go to church and you give your life to Christ and you make God a priority, you're laying the foundation for your family. But when you don't lay that foundation, you find yourself in cycles of drugs, cycles of drinking, cycles of children out of wedlock, cycles of abuse, cycles of people going to prison, cycles. So many children right now are searching for love in all the wrong places, from young girls to young guys. They're looking for love. They're looking for love. So I would say, parents need to lay the foundation. Parents, you have to lead by example. How can this generation become better when the people before them ain't laid no type of foundation? You wonder why your family have cycles of drugs, cycles of lack, cycles of children out of wedlock, because nobody is laying the foundation. Nobody is letting them know that's not the way that you want to go. You got cousins smoking with cousins. I remember a time when people would say it takes a village to raise a child. When back then, ain't no way a neighbor could see you smoking weed. Ain't no way a neighbor could see you doing something. They would probably pop you. Ain't no way that your mama friend could see you doing something. Or they would address you. But now, you have adults that feel comfortable with smoking with children. You have older black men and older black women that feel the need to date young children, and they get with these children, they mess their mind up, they teach them all type of sexual things, they have them out here doing whatever. The next thing you know, they're going to somebody else, then somebody else. As if AIDS ain't real, as if other diseases ain't real. So we talk about the generation. We talk about the generation up under us. Oh, they so bad. Oh, it's the young ones. It's the young ones. When a lot of these adults are the reason why these children are acting the way that they are. You wonder why your child gets in a gang when they get older, When you have literally let them hold up anything they wanted to hold up, look at anybody they wanted to hold up, and you wonder why they join gangs. Now, I'm not going to say everybody, because some of them just hang with the wrong people. But some of this stuff is passed down from generation to generation to generation to generation. Who's going to stop the cycles? Who's going to stop the generational curses? Somebody has to stand in the gap. Somebody has to say, I'm tired of my family going through this. I'm tired of seeing my little cousin them not graduating. I'm tired of seeing my little cousin them constantly getting pregnant. I'm tired of seeing my niece and my nephews in trouble. I'm tired of seeing these young girls get hurt by these black men. I'm tired of seeing these young girls sell their bodies and for sex. And I'm tired of seeing these young girls think that if you date a man with money, that's your ticket out. Because guess what? You are living with your parent that tell you being a drug dealer is better than dating about somebody that works a 9 to 5. So in this young child's mind, this young girl's mind, she think that if I get a drug dealer, somebody that's going to spend money on me, somebody that's going to buy me bags, somebody that's going to buy me Louis, then I'm good. I don't have to go to school. I don't have to get my lesson. I don't have to know how to count. I don't know how to do certain things. It is important that we teach our children. It is important that we lay the foundation. But if you're laying the foundation in the wrong way, if you're laying the foundation to make it seem like, okay, it's okay to only date somebody for money. It's okay, use him. Use what you got to get what you want. And then you wonder why so many young girls are pregnant and not married. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. A lot of you are the people that enable these children. You enable them. That's if you give somebody the drugs and say, I didn't tell them to smoke it, but you gave it to them. You introduced him to it. Instead of you telling this child, baby, get counseling, I'm going to talk to you. Smoke this blunt. Instead of you telling your child, you're going to get up for school. You're going to get up for school. You're going to get up for church. You're going to go to church on Sundays. We're not finna sit up in this house. You're not finna play this game all day. We finna set up a time to pray. Instead of you doing this, you guys let your children play these devices all day, every day. All day, every day. And let me tell you one thing that I've noticed. Children that's on their tablet 95% of the time, or texting 95% of the time, do not know how to hold an intellectual conversation. Do not know how to hold I'm going to tell y'all something. I was texting this guy, and he was talking to me in codes. And I just told him, listen, I'm 32 years old. You're in your 30s. At this point, you should know how to hold an intellectual conversation without you speaking in codes. A lot of these children speak the way that they text. So you wonder why, she never pays attention in class when you are giving them the phones. Teachers like, she ain't never paying attention in class. She don't do none of that. When you are giving them the phones. When you are giving them the weed. When you are telling them, go date girl, go date that, go date the guy that got the money. But you're not telling them to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. You're not telling them that instead of you trying to look at his bag, get your own bag. You're not telling them that, baby, don't ever depend on somebody 100%. Only person you depend on 100% is God. But a lot of you wonder why these children are doing some of the things that they're doing. A lot of you wonder why these children are stealing and doing all this stuff. Now, I'm not saying that it's good. I'm not saying it's a good thing. Nor am I condoning any of it. Because it's literally sad that children think that they can go steal a car, rob somebody at gunpoint, carjack somebody, and literally think that if you steal a car, you're going to be set for life. when the thing is, a lot of this plays a part in how they are raised. So I remember one time when I was in high school, I had this principal called Dr. Winston. Everybody that went to Northside will tell you that this school, Northside, when I went there in the 9th grade, remind you of Eastside High School. The movie Lean on Me, it reminds you of that. Now, they had a principal. Her name was Miss Curry. It was never around. I never seen the lady. But when Dr. Winston came, he changed the whole trajectory of the school. He changed the whole way that it was ran. He changed the whole way the students respected teachers. He changed the whole way in the way that the boys would dress. He changed the whole way in how boys would deal with each other when they would get into it with each other. He changed the whole thing. And you know the thing? Most of these boys only needed love. Most of them only needed a man, a father figure that would show them a better way. Most of them only needed affection, love, a hug. This man literally had such an amazing impact on our high school. You had boys who always would fight. You had boys that, was going through at home. I'm going to tell you something. One thing I've learned is some of the silliest people are going through things. Some of the silliest people are going through things. So be mindful of what you're feeding your children. Be mindful of the things you're telling them. Be mindful of your pour concerning your children. Pour into your children. Baby, you can do anything you put your mind to. You are so amazing. You are so wonderful. God made you perfect in every way. You are so gorgeous. You are so smart. Like, you are so amazing. God has great things in store for you. But on the other hand, most of us a B or get your butt. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Parents, what you say to your children matters. What you pour into your children matters. What you tell them on a regular matters. If you tell your child each and every day, you a punk, man, you a sissy, you a punk, man, you this, you that, you a punk, man, you this, you that. And you tell them that 6 weeks straight. And you wonder why they act a certain way that they act. Because you're pouring that into them. But if you are so smart. You are so intelligent. You are so amazing. You are so gorgeous. Guess what? When they go meet a guy on the street and tell them they gorgeous, okay, my mama tell me I'm gorgeous all the time. My daddy tell me I'm gorgeous all the time. You are so smart, boy. You're going to be successful, boy. You're going to be a president. But if you gang banging about your children, yeah. Parents, you have to lead by example, because this next generation needs love. This next generation needs a hug. This next generation needs someone that won't judge them. This next generation needs someone who truly want to see them win. This next generation needs someone to pour into them, not only mentally, but physically. This next generation needs someone to correct them. We cannot enable these children. That means when they're wrong, they're wrong. When they're wrong, they are wrong. Don't let your child tell you, oh, I ain't going to church. I don't feel like going to church. Okay. So if you don't feel like going to church, that means you don't feel like playing the game. That means you don't feel like having your phone. That means you don't feel like hanging with your friends. That means only thing you feel like is eating and go to bed. Period. Stop giving your child the authority that you have. Don't you all know that society and these schools want your children to believe in something else, they don't want your children to come in and say, I'm a Christian when they go to college. Some teachers, professors, work hard for you to denounce what you believe in. Let me give you guys a story. I was going to this known hair school. Nobody ever knew this because I never said anything about this. I was going to this known hair school in Memphis, one of the biggest hair schools in Memphis. And as you guys know, I'm a Christian. There's a lot of people in there that believe different things, but I am a Christian. I'm a firm believer. I love God. But one of the things that I noticed, they didn't care anything about what I believed in. But they wanted to push this narrative. They wanted to push what they believed on you. They wanted to push what they believed in on you. They didn't want you to believe in what you believed in. They wanted you to be okay with certain things, certain decisions. They wanted you to be okay. Oh, don't say this. You can't say that. At that moment, every time I would go to this class, we would be debating. At that moment, I made a sound decision. For God I live, for God I die. I won't be insulted. I won't let anybody insult my God. But I will remove myself before I sit up here and be in a place where I gotta sit up here and sugarcoat what I believe in, but everybody else can say what they believe in. That is why it is so important for you to pour into your children, for you to let them know who Alpha and Omega is, for you to let them know who the beginning and the end is, for you to let them know who the one, the only true living God is, for you to pour into them, for you to let them know your strength do not come from man, your strength does not come from money, but your strength comes from God. You have to pour into your children. You have to pour into your children. Just like you feed your body with food, you have to feed your children with the word of God. You have to feed your children with stuff that they can stand firm on. So what this generation is lacking, this generation is lacking God. Not saying that God doesn't want this generation, because he does. But one of the things that I will say is, it starts with the parents. It starts with you. You ain't even laying the foundation. You're not even making church mandatory. You're not even saying we're going to church. You're not even holding yourself accountable. You're not even in alignment with the will of God. You're not even living the life that you need to be living. And you wonder why you go in these cycles and cycles and cycles. Why do my family keep living a life of poverty? Why we don't have? Why do we lack? Why do we depend on men to give us certain things? Why do we feel like we have to settle for a man that's cheating, for a man that's abusing us, for a man that's literally don't have nothing to bring to the table but his mouth and his hands? When we choose wrong, when we accept wrong, what do we think we're teaching our children? When you're with a man that literally beats on you 95/7, 24/7. I done made up a whole different number. 24/7. And you have your young sons there watching. And you're telling them, don't ever beat on somebody. Okay? But they're watching it. So they're taking notes, feeding themselves. Okay, so when I get a woman, I know what to do to make her obey me. When I get with a woman, I know what to do to make her do what I want her to do. And then you have these young girls where they see their mom hop from man to man to man to man. And you wonder why these young girls think that if they're with an older guy, they come out on top. Think that if they sell their body, they come out on top. Think that, oh, I'm going to get this money when it's AIDS, HIV, when it's so many different things, and they're looking for love in all the wrong places because their father isn't in their life, because their mom is barely at home. You have young adults, young children raising their siblings, at home with their siblings. Young adults that's doing the job that their parents should be doing. And we have parents letting children do what they want to do, letting them speak how they want to speak, letting them sit in on a conversation that you're having that's personal. You talking about sex around your child. Yet we say, this generation, this generation, that. Listen, let me just say this too, because there are moms and fathers out here that's making it happen. There are moms and fathers that can't always be at home with their children, so they're sacrificing to be at work. I understand you. I feel you. I love you. But I want you to understand that you have to pour into your child. Because your child will be like this. Even though my mom wasn't able to be around me as much as she wanted to, she always made it. She always made it to things. She was always there. She always made a way out of no way. Even though my father wasn't in my life like I wanted him to be, he still would make sure things was in order. He still would come to certain things. We have to lay the foundation. We have to lead by example. We have to use the village that we have to correct these children, to show them love. Now, this is the thing. Trying to correct a child or young adult or trying to tell them off without showing them love first isn't a good way. Most of these children want love. They want love. That's it. The bottom line is they want love. My church, we say this: love is the highest frequency. So the first thing you got to do is you got to love on them. Love on them. Don't beat them down, but love on them first. Introduce them to God. Tell them about the goodness of God based off of your testimony. Well, I just want you to know, God has been good to me. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. You can just depend on God. God got you. God loves you. He has something so amazing for you. We have to speak life into these children. If we don't, then who? If you don't speak life into them, then who? If you don't pour into them, then who? If you don't water them, then who? You think people want to see these young children become successful? You think people want to see these young children become doctors and lawyers and teachers? You think that? Do you think people actually want to see our children on top? And guess what? People don't want to see your children on top, and you giving them a reason not to want to see your children on top. You giving them the reason to say anything they want to say about your child. Because guess what? You've already said it. You've already said Lil Jon Jon act like his daddy. You've already said Lil Jon Jon gonna be the same particular his uncle in. You already said Lil Jon Jon act just like his daddy. And his dad in jail for robbery. We have to speak life. Life and death is in the power of your own tongue. It's your tongue. It's in your tongue. So if you speak in negativity on your child, it starts with you. When you speak negativity on your child, it opens a door, a pathway for them to go do exactly what you said. And you be like, oh, I knew he was going to be that way. I already knew he was going to be doing it. I could tell he had anger problems ever since he was younger. But when you say you will be successful, you will succeed, you will do everything that God has set for you to do. You will be smart. You will be intelligent. You will be respectful. I refuse to let you do what you want to do. I refuse to see you in jail. I refuse to see you in prison. It starts with us. So with that being said, what this generation needs is love. What this generation needs is someone that's going to show them and lead them in the right way. Lead them into a positive way, not a negative way. Show them how to express themselves without fighting. Show them how to express themselves without shooting. Show them how to do things, get away from the negativity. Show them that it is more to what they see. It is more than what you see. Don't let where you are stop you from becoming successful. God has so many things in store for our young Black children, but it starts at home. What are we feeding them at home? God is good. Love on your children. Speak life. Speak life. I love you guys with the love of Christ. And do me a favor. When you see a youth, a young adult, love on them. Don't speak negative about them. They may have on Daisy Dukes. They may have on a crop top. But just say this. I love you. God loves you so much. He has so many things in store for you. He's going to do some amazing things in your life. You just watch and see. And that's it. That's a start. Speaking positive. Because sometimes we talk about them like we ain't never done nothing. Like we ain't never been nowhere. Speak life. Love you guys. Have a blessed day.